Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Navis Nobilite. I am Captain Zelnick, and today we are going to be talking about the Craftworld Eldar for BFG Masterclass. Now, I made this video previously, but my audio was really bad. I'm using a new mic now, and hopefully things will be better. So please let me know down in the comments if the audio quality is better or worse. Please let me know. I have to do a lot of tweaking to get this thing to work appropriately. Now, we're going to get right into the Craftworld Eldar. Now, this is again assuming that you know all about how to use your Craftworld Eldar. They are a very high complexity fleet. You have to work very, very hard to get skilled with them, much more so than Corsair Eldar. So, bearing that in mind, let's get into the fleet and see what our options are. All right, so boop, boop, boop. Okay, so we're looking at fleet command, and one very important thing to consider right here is that the Autarch himself is not the Autarch options are not complete here. Prince Uriel is a 125 point commander that comes with a whole bunch of free stuff. Now, obviously, if you go back, you see Captain Zelnick, he's 150 points. There is no reasonable reason to take Prince Uriel if he's not on the Flame of Assyrian. It's that simple. There's no reason to take him if he's not on his flagship. That's, I think, the end of the story. Not only do you get a 25 point discount on whatever he can do, you get a lot of free stuff. He has Vampire Hunters, Aspect Warrior Fighting Crew. He gets a reroll for free, and you can purchase another reroll for only 25 points. And he's Leadership 10, which is phenomenal. There's no reason not to take him at all. And you get all the benefits, really, of being a Autarch and being a Eldar hero, because he's both. But also, let's be honest, if we are playing the game of tournament play or high competitive play, we're not going to be taking reserves from the Corsair list, plain and simple. The fleets just do not mesh well. So then we go on to our options for ships. We have the Dragon ships, which are our basic battle cruiser. They're our flagships. You have the Flame of Assyrian, and you have the Dragon ship. Now, I've had a lot of contention with other experts in the game, and they argue that the Flame of Assyrian is not actually that great of a ship. My argument is you're wrong in every metric. It is a Dragon ship as Dragon ships are meant to be. It has 8 hits, like a proper freaking battle cruiser. It has 2 pulsars. It has a better weapons battery, and it has launch capacity. It has everything you need on a nice mobile platform. It's great. There's no reason to not take it, and it's a great excuse to take a really, really good commander out of Uriel. The Dragon ship is our bare bones battle cruiser. It has good launch capacity and decent weapons, though like all of these build-a-ships, they have a tendency of forming around one build as really the most viable option. And that would be, for the sake of the Dragon ship, it's going to be batteries and launch capacity, just because they have in really good supply. Onto Wraith ships, these are your standard cruiser. Again, because these are build-a-ships, they do tend to collapse. The quantum wavefront of choice tends to collapse down into the option, basically one option, which is pulsar lances and torpedoes. It's just the most efficient way to take them and the most effective way to take them because they're a much cheaper ship. And ghost ships, never take them. They're not viable in tournament play. I think that's obvious. Okay, Aspect Warrior Fighting Hosts. This is actually a really nice little upgrade. Along with Farseers over here, another nice little upgrade if you have points extra. I find the Aspect Warriors to be more useful because they turn a ship into a Space Marine ship. That's really great, especially if you take Vampire Hunters, which you should always be taking. And of course, you have your escorts. These are very nice against incoming enemy strike craft, so bombers and assault boats. They get a free reroll on their holofield against them. The downside is their weapons are kind of weak. They have a strength 3 battery or a standard lance. So, I mean, it's nice that they're sort of cheap, but they're a little pricey for even that. But they're really good for covering one of the greater weaknesses of the Eldar, which is dealing with enemy ordnance on a large scale. Does it give you kind of that coverage that you would get out of carriers? No, it really doesn't, but it does give you a better screen and makes it much harder for a sacrificial ship to die. So let's talk about how to build this list. Now, I'm going to impress upon you, do not frown on the Flame. The Flame is such a good ship, and Uriel is actually a really good commander. So we're actually going to start there. This is actually my tournament list. Now, to be fair, I've never won with this list because the dice have always been very cruel to me. But such is life, right? So we have the Flame of Assyrian. We need a Dragon ship as well. and I'm going to give it Vampire Hunters as well, because there's no reason not to, and it's going to get a Aspect Warrior Fighting Crew. That right there should be obvious, because if you're taking launch capacity, you want those Vampire Hunters to hit with the maximum amount of force. Vampire Hunters with Aspect Warriors is a much, much more effective thing to use, even if your bombers are skilled. But bear that in mind. All right, now we're on to our Wraith ships. These are our Lance and Torpedo-equipped Wraith ships. That's 3. That's 4. We can go up to 5. Okay? We can go up to 5 on that element. That leaves us about 125 points. I would actually take off 1. Leave it 215, and then take a squadron of Shadow Hunters. That puts us at 455. We have 45 points to play with. I prefer to go and give one of my Wraith ships a Aspect Warrior Fighting Crew. Doing that is a nice little a nasty surprise if the enemy isn't expecting me to suddenly board with a Wraith ship, because boarding and Eldar don't normally mesh very well, but give them Aspect Warrior Fighting Crews, and you can do some pretty mean things to your enemy. And that leaves you 25 points. Get yourself another reroll, 1,500 points exactly. Okay, now let's make a. Let's say you don't have a Uriel's flagship. Let's say we just are going to be working with Dragon ships and Wraith ships. So we're going to take ourselves a Autarch. Okay, baseline LD9 commander, no rerolls, no nothing. Okay, we are going to take a Dragon ship, however, because we want some launch capacity. We're at 335. Okay, so what we're going to try to do is make up some of that launch capacity weakness with escorts. So let's take 2 squads of Shadow Hunters, and now fill the rest with Wraith ships. 3, 4. We can get 4. Oh, look at that. Aspect Warrior Fighting Crews. Now, in this particular scenario, I would not grab the reroll. I would take the 10 points, put those Vampire Hunters on the Dragon ship, or you could not do that and take a reroll, and your commander now has a little bit more security at LD9 for Eldar. Those are both very viable options. Just recognize that you're going to be... You have a good amount of Wraith ships. Yeah, it's actually a pretty decent fleet because of the amount of pulsars you have. You're kind of lacking in batteries, so I would fill up those. I would really fill up those Shadow Hunters with nothing but battery boats, and then use them to deal with enemy ordnance and enemy ships if they get close enough. So that's Craftworld Eldar, everyone. If you're going to be taking these to a tournament, practice a lot. You'll need the skill. This is a very high skill list. It's a very nuanced list. You have to be very careful with it. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all again in the next video.